Hi, I'm Alex Archbold. I've been buying and selling antiques since I was a kid. Over the years, generations of our family have gotten involved in the business, and I'll search just about anywhere I can to find hidden treasures both big and small. I never know what I'll turn up next. It's about exploring new places, seeing new sights, and having fun. And even though sometimes I get over my head, we try and make things a little better along the way. This is Curiosity Inc. Hey guys, and welcome to today's episode. I found myself in the town of Anderson, Missouri, or Missouri, depends on how you want to say it. And it is just kind of a cute little town. Kind of reminds me of what you'd see like if you built a model train set and you had to pick buildings to make your train set look cool. They got the train tracks down there, all these little structures and buildings, you know, like a town often has. Sometimes my commentary makes me laugh because of how stupid it is. But we're going to go inside the Rags to Riches flea market, and they've got the Copper Moon thrift store. There's a few little places around here. In fact, the whole street is almost antique shops and thrift stores. So let's see what we can find today. Let's go. Okay, just talk to the folks working here, and I always make sure that they're okay with me filming, and usually they are, because we're going to have a little look around and talk about their shop. But there's a Squire Stratocaster in the window. If you got a, what's it called, chlorophobia? Is that when you're afraid of clowns? I heard a comedian say arachnophobia. Is that when you're afraid of Iraq? No, it's not. But this is, it's not working, but oh, the clown has left the building. He's jumped out. It's a hollowed out. Somewhere we're going to find a little pop-up clown running around the shop here today. But let's have a look around and see what we can find. I'm keeping sort of an eye out. I know you guys are probably looking at the glassware and stuff too. That's the top off of, I think, a container. But I'm going to see if there's maybe some uranium glass or some Pyrex. Maybe we'll find some old toys. Who knows? That's a great thing about coming. Oh, look. Creepy doll, no eyes. Which means the eyes are probably actually fallen inside the body. She's not that creepy. That's $5. That's a really fair price. That's a probably 1900. At the back might have the name on it. It does. It's German. So it's a German-made doll. Prior to World War I, a lot of the dolls were made in Germany. That's actually very inexpensive, and you can get those eyes. In fact, I feel like I can hear them rattling around inside. But yeah, $5. The antique dealer in me is thinking, gosh, I should buy that thing, fix it up, give her some hair. It's probably worth, you know, $70 once you fix it a little bit. But let's keep looking. We got glassware, 30% off. But I would like to find some neat old toys, maybe. I guess I have a John Deere tractor now. I can be one of these guys that starts collecting John Deere stuff. This is all green, and so I'm kind of paying attention, looking for uranium glass. I don't see any just yet. But if I'm lucky, maybe I'll find a neat old watch. Stopped at a store the other day and I found a couple Hamilton watch boxes, which was pretty cool. Novelty license plates. So I think it's kind of a combination here of like antiques and flea market-y type stuff. If I could find a nice set of Ford hubcaps, that's actually a nice clean set of GM hubcaps off like a C10 truck. If I had a Chev C10 truck, I'd probably be jumping all over that. But I've got a Ford. Somebody at home is probably saying, well, we won't hold that against you. It's funny how people are so sensitive to brands when both Ford and GM both make decent vehicles over the years. Oh, it's big. It goes way over there. Okay, I'm gonna check out this whole side over here first. Then I'll go check out the other side. But this is a really big store. This is probably like 3 or 4 stores combined to make one big giant one. Little Hot Wheels. It was worth having a look to see. You never know if you're gonna find one good one in the mix. I was gonna say, oh, it's a little 57 Chevy, but it's not in there. It's just the box. Well, got some nice old clocks. I always do like to look for old advertising clocks, which none of these are, but that's an 8-day. An old office clock. Seth Thomas, good brand. Howard Miller, also a decent brand, a little bit newer. But if I could find like a nice advertising clock with, it might say Pepsi Cola or Smoke King Edward cigars or something like that, those are really neat and definitely add a lot of value. Whenever something has advertising, it meets a lot of different collectors that way. Well, there's a Daisy gun, newer one. Oh, I see on this side of the case, I better walk around. There's some old baseball cards. Whereas I've had a number of old cards over the years. And probably the best one I had was that Mickey Mantle rookie card, which I don't have any longer, but sure would be nice to find another. But odds of that happening are pretty small. But that is the same year, 52 tops. I guess the reason why the Mickey Mantle rookie card is so hard to find is that it came out later in the season, so it got released as a sort of a amendment to the set, and the season was over and they didn't sell real well, so they actually dumped a bunch of the cases in the harbor, and not many of them made it out. So if you find one, a lot of times you find them in Canada because Canada got them, and they actually destroyed most of them. So that's part of the reason why that particular card is so rare and so valuable. His actual rookie card came out the year prior. I think it was a Bowman set, 1951. Somebody will correct me if it wasn't Bowman. Please put in the comments if I had it right, because as I'm talking, I'm not entirely sure, but I know his actual rookie card was the previous year, and it's not worth as much as the 52. There's more over here. Sometimes I just talk and ramble. I'm looking at the same time, and I'm kind of seeing if there's something I'm interested in. I'm taking you guys shopping with me, but I hope you don't mind that I'm chatting with you at the same time and walking you through this. This is basically just like what it's like to come shopping with Alex. Just have a look around and see if there's anything cool. But I haven't found a booth with a bunch of old toys or old wristwatches or advertising signs, and I'm hoping that maybe on this side or the next I'll find something like that. But it's still fun to snoop and look. Oh, look, license plates. Curry. Doesn't smell like curry. New Mexico, land of enchantment. In the back of my mind, I'm looking for a old 40s license plate too. So I have kind of some things in mind I'm looking for. Seems like if a person ever needed kitchenware or glassware, you could certainly get loaded up at a antique mall or flea market. They always have plenty of it. Oh, look, there's a downstairs. It says to hold on to the handrail, and look what I'm doing. Look at me following instructions. I was looking at some Coke bottles up there earlier and thinking, how the first ones were sold almost like they were pharmaceuticals, and they had a little dose of cocaine in there. Which little Johnny sure is hyperactive today. Oh, he's drank a few Coca-Colas. Oh, look at this. It's a salt and pepper set that looks like a mixer. That's cute. It's got its box, kind of novelty thing, but it does have the other little beater bar there. Oh, that's the salt. No, that can't be wouldn't be able to get much salt in that. That's neat. Speaking of baseball cards, I look on the floor here, there's just like a box full of assorted cards, and some of them are pretty old. I had a Nolan Ryan that was from this year. What is this, 1972? 86. So there's some actual old cards in the mix here, but I doubt whether you're going to find, really rare, desirable one. Gosh, I hate the fact that they're sorted like this because it's just going to wreck them. But, some of these should be out in a box. Well, they are, but I mean, they should be in a nicer box. Jose Canseco is a good player. And some records. Keep Fit and Dance. Oh, I bet that's a lot of fun to listen to. Back when ladies would wear the leggings and spandex outfits. They used to have a lot of TV shows where you do exercise with Sally or whatever they were called, and I guess people did it. It was like every morning before school, they'd always have those things on. A lot of 45s and stuff. Comics, $3. And cards are 25 cents each. But you know, even if you found, like what year is this from? 1976. But if you found an Amazing Fantasy 15, even in this kind of shape with no cover, it's still probably worth like thousands of dollars. So sometimes it's worth looking through because you don't know. And if you find one that was the, you know, the first appearance of so-and-so or some important plot twist of a thing, they might not have looked these things up. It looks to me like they just ended up with some stuff and threw it all out here because there isn't anything that's more valuable that's out. Like you'd think if they were sorting through and finding the good stuff, they'd have the good stuff in a different case, but they don't. So I don't exactly know how this works, but there's all these cards here. Looks like some of them were in a binder at one point. Wow. Needs a little organization. That's what I feel like doing. I might have OCD. I think if I had actual OCD, I'd be organizing it, but I want to really, really badly. I'm going to step away and stop. Well, this little guy looks like he has the best spot in the house. Look at that little werewolf on a rocking chair. Why not? Little llama. Every time I see a llama, though, I think of beating it with a stick because of piñatas. I don't think there's any candy inside. Cute little thing. I mean, not real llamas. That would be terrifying. But toy llamas, or replica. I'm going to stop talking now because it sounds like I like to beat llamas with a stick. And I'm just talking about piñatas. Okay, what do we have in here? Little Miller sign. Boxes with some random car parts. I'm trying to understand what the big seller is in this area. Like, it seems like there's just like a lot of knick-knacky things. So maybe people like that kind of stuff. But somewhere, I'm gonna find the stuff I'm looking for. Which maybe I should worry that nobody's carrying the things that I like. Maybe there's not many people like the same things that I like. Well, there's a bedazzled skull. I should put that in my will. That's how I want to go out. Just bedazzle, paint me black, bedazzle me, put me above the fireplace. That's almost as bad as my father-in-law, Dave, when Melissa asked what he wants done if he ever passes. He says, "Oh, just stuff me and put me in the corner so I don't miss Thanksgiving." And then when he did actually pass, they said, "Did he give you any idea of what he wanted?" And she said, "You don't want to know." Needless to say, we did not do that. 50% off everything. I best have a good look and see. Well, it's a fun little shop. I shouldn't say little. As you can see kind of below me, it's actually quite massive. And this is one of 3 buildings that they have here. But I'm going to continue across the street and go see what's at the next building. We've only got, I think, about another hour or so until everything shuts down for the day. And I don't want to miss what might be the find or the treasure of the day. So let's go walk down the street and see what else we can find. Well, I've seen somebody do this before. What they've done is they've taken like maybe an old vanity or a desk and they've turned it into like a kitchen vanity or wash station, they say. Probably was done not that long ago. It works. I mean, somebody got creative and crafty. If you had an old desk you weren't using and wanted to make it look a little different, it works. Next stop is just across the street at the Golden Rose Flea Market. Let's go inside and see if they've got some deals to uncage for us today. Well, we got little Sophie running around. Little Yorkie wearing a fish costume. I said that's the hairiest fish I've ever seen. And there's randomly a knight in shining armor. Oh, it's a cowboy knight. That's the rarest type of knight there is. But this store definitely has a lot of stuff to see, so I'll have to do a little walkabout and see what we can find. So sometimes you gotta look up. I did see a little sign there that says display only, so that is a little bit sad because there's a really cool Lost in Space vintage robot. It's a big one too. He looks like he's big enough to push that carriage all around. And Yeah, I'm hoping maybe there'll be some other tin robots and stuff. I don't know. Let's have a look around and see. So this building was originally a dime store called Dorothy's. And I said, I bet they'd still be kind of okay if Dorothy was around today, to see that they still have all kinds of, you know, odds and ends and stuff in the store, and it's still being used 100 years later. Beautiful tin ceiling up top there. These old buildings have a lot of character. Sort of walking by this St. Louis Cardinals jacket. I feel like I might have had something like that when I was a kid. That material seems really familiar. But again, vintage clothing. Everywhere you go, people are selling the vintage clothes. I should keep my eyes open for my daughter, for whatever reason, likes vintage Batman shirts. We found her one with the last clear out we did, and she was over the moon with it. She actually wears it all the time. So if I can find some stuff for my kids too while I'm looking. The tables have turned. Now I'm still looking for toys for me, and my kids are moving on and looking for clothes and other things. This is cool. It's an old Timex watch display. Or they're using it as a display cabinet, but if you were a watch collector and had that, that'd be a cool little piece to have. Costume jewelry, thimble collection. Okay, let's keep on moving down the line and see what else they have here. Mona Lisa beaded curtain. Don't know what that was. That looks like almost like an old, like an oil rack. I mean, that's what they've got on it, is carbon parts cleaner cans and stuff like that. Like, the reason some people buy this stuff is because it's got interesting graphics on it, and if you have a garage and you want to have a shelf that looks like it's from back in the 60s or 70s, nice to have some old cans. Truth be told, that display cabinet is pretty cool, and probably did come out of an automotive shop at some point. Or it could have been, you know, like fishing gear or who knows what. Speaking of fishing gear, they've got a bunch of floats and lures and reels and rods all around, and even fish. And I guess maybe that's why their dog had the fish outfit on, because they're big into fishing. Coke button up top there. I think that might be a reproduction though. It's a little smaller than the average size, and it's in really good shape, but still neat. I think he might have been on your bicycle a little too long. You got a skeleton up there. Is that a Schwinn, or what is that?
I think so.
Oh, it's a Schwinn. Okay. Good brand, and that's a little Schwinn Pixie right next to it too. There's been a skeleton theme on my trip out here so far. The one in Prairie Grove in the person's front yard. Now you got one riding a bicycle in this. We bought one of those from Costco once, one of those full-size skeletons, and Melissa decided she'd prank me, and she put it on top of on the toilet like it was busy doing its business. And when I opened the door and went in, I had a bit of a fright because there's a skeleton sitting on my toilet. She laughed pretty hard about that. Across the street, they've got Brady's Jewelry, which is not open, but they said it's been in the family for 3 generations. You look, there's their original, well, I guess, 1940s era clock still on the wall in there. I'll have to come back to check that one out another time. Well, what a fun little town. So if you're ever out this way and you find yourself just crossing the border into Missouri, you should definitely come check it out. It's a hot summer day. And it looks to me like there's some other stores that are opening up in the area too. So aside from the couple antique malls that we went through, there's also another consignment store and thrift shop opening, which they said will be opening up in a couple days, so we just missed it. And then of course the video games and Pokemon store, which is right next to me here. So come on down, check it out. And for me, I'm signing off. So guys, have a wonderful day. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.